Welcome back to my channel. I'm Christina and this is the Beauty Rookie, and long time no see it feels like. Sorry for missing last week's Makeup Bag Monday because one of the products in here gave me a horrible reaction to my eyes. Also, if you hear crunching, my son is eating a sandwich with chips, like right there. Yeah. I have to film with him here today, so we'll see how that goes. So let's get right into last week's Makeup Bag Monday. If you guys don't remember, we are talking about the Marc Jacobs Foundation, a Pat McGrath palette, and some Grande Lash products. Let's go ahead and start with the Marc Jacobs Foundation. This is the Shameless Foundation, and I'm gonna go ahead and tell you that during spring break, I wore pretty minimal makeup. I did try this 3 different times though, and hated it every single time. But I tried it enough times to know that I absolutely hate it. First of all, it looks heavy and cakey no matter what I do. I can prime my skin as best as possible. I can moisturize. I can, put an amazing primer underneath, and it's still not gonna work. It doesn't play well with any primer that I've tried. Even the ones that people have recommended to me, I've tried it, doesn't work. And even without primer, a lot of times if a foundation doesn't play well with primer, if you prep your skin really well and you moisturize, you can just go in without a primer, and sometimes the foundation can look beautiful. The Laura Mercier, for example, beautiful without a primer. But this is just, I cannot make it work. It always looks heavy, it always looks cakey. It clings to every dry spot you've ever had or didn't even know you had, and it emphasizes your pores something awful. It made me look about 10 years older, and I would get it on, and on the camera or in the mirror, it looked great. If you photographed me, I looked beautiful, but when I went outside and looked, it was a nightmare. It's one of those foundations. You know what I'm talking about. Right there. It's not as liquidy as I thought it would be. It's a little bit of kind of a gel consistency. If you're familiar with the Genius Gel foundation they had, it is a little similar, maybe a little lighter. It's about a medium coverage, but I will say that, look, and as I blend out, it can look, you can think it's gonna look beautiful, like I'll show you here, because the finish is a semi-matte demi finish with like kind of a natural sheen to it. So you think it's gonna be, awesome, but it just doesn't apply the way I want it to. There it is blended out. And you see how healthy that makes your skin look? I wish that's what it looked like on my face, but I think this foundation might be well suited for someone that is in their early 20s and has almost perfect skin, or that can get away with just pinpoint concealing a few spots, and maybe you don't have any trouble areas with pore size, and then this might be a game changer for you, but for me, no. Also, about hour 3 to 4, it starts looking a hot mess. So it's not even long wearing, it's not full coverage, but it looks cakey. It's not comfortable. I don't know. I normally like Marc Jacobs foundations, but that's a no-go for me. The item that I was most excited about last week was the Pat McGrath palette. I mean, that packaging is just a work of art. So I was very excited to really get to play with it and see how many looks I could do. Like I said, on the week that I tested out these products, I ended up not being able to wear makeup more than 3 days because of one of the lash products that I tried. So I wasn't able to do as many eye looks, but I carried that out to the week after, and I was able to get a lot of use out of this palette. But there are some pros and cons. First of all, one of the pros obviously is the stunning package, although I hate, look at the fingerprints, and I cleaned it. So it's absolutely stunning. And I'm gonna go ahead and give you swatches right now. I'll just do some live swatches. Let me take you down this row and then down that row, okay? So the first 3 shades, I've already lost the paper that had all the names. That's such a bummer. I wish that the names of the shadows were printed on the palette, especially for such an expensive palette. First 3. That's 2 of the row. Looks like that. There's the first row. Go ahead and go right there. First 3 shades. And the last 2 shades, which are the only matte shades in the palette, that is a brown and a black. The last one is a black. So there's the swatches, and now let's get into the palette. First of all, the quality of the shadows is unparalleled. They are unbelievable. They are such unique shades in that what you see is what you get, but they also take a whole other life of their own when you layer them on top of each other, or you take the matte black as a base and then you put that on top. While the black does swatch patchy, I did not find it patchy on the eyes. It blended beautifully. They all blended beautifully. I do think that for this palette to work for every day, you do need to pull another palette because there are no transition shades. This is the only matte shade that you have. It's almost like a plummy brown, so it's a little bit too dark for a transition shade for someone with my complexion, but I do actually really, really like it, using it as a transition shade and kind of just diffusing it out. It's one of the beautiful things about this formula, which I find similar to the Natasha Denona formula, is that they sort of transition themselves. You can take one shadow and work just that one shadow in, and it will sort of diffuse itself, transition itself, and you can create an eye look with only one shade. These do work best when you're working with 2 to 3 at a time. Any more than that, it starts looking muddy. They don't really separate themselves all that well unless you're using something like a Fix Plus. And I do think that the first row that has those like coppery bronze colors are incredibly versatile, and I think of all the palettes that I've seen, this one might be the best for every day. I believe this is the Sublime, but again, one of the negatives to this palette is that there is no name on what palette you have. It doesn't say here. Does it say on this one? Yes, Sublime. So you have to keep the outer carton. The only one that kind of gave me a little bit of trouble was this one, but it's actually my favorite because it's the one that transforms all the other shades into something spectacular. It's a little bit chunkier and grittier than the others, so the texture itself is not as creamy or smooth as the other shades, but as a topper, it just, I don't know, it just looks incredible. I've even used it as a highlight and on my lips, and I just really love it. That said, because it's not for me a complete palette that I can use every single day, I'm going to say that it's not worth the price tag on this. If you get it on sale during the VIB Rouge, I think yes, absolutely. First of all, because the packaging is a work of art. The shadows are unique and beautiful. It is a very, very unique formula. Because for me, for a palette to be worth a high price tag, I want it to be able to perform and not have to reach for anything else. But if you are looking for something that packs a punch, that just really is, I mean, look at it. That's, you know, stunning, and yeah, I mean, the shadows are beautiful. I would put them up there with the Natasha Denona shadows if you're familiar with those. They are incredible. I do think that the smaller palettes that Pat has come out with the 6 shades might be a better place for you to start. I've heard that while they're not as beautiful and as good as this one, they are a lot more wearable and the price tag is not as scary. So you might want to start there. I highly do recommend these. I'm just saying though that it's not going to be like an all-in-one palette for most of us. Okay, let's talk about lash products. The biggest disappointment for me the last few weeks was the Grande Lash MD Eyelash Serum. Looks like that. I accidentally threw it away, so I can't show you the actual tube, but there's a reason why. I hate this didn't work for me because I have so many friends that use this and absolutely loved it and actually saw their lashes not only grow but just look healthy all around. Do you see that little hand over there? For me, this actually irritated my eyes so bad that I was not able to wear makeup for almost an entire week. It caused bruising on my eyelids, discoloration, burning. My eyes were red for almost 3 days, which I've never had anything like that, to the point where eye drops weren't even helping. I used this twice to know that it was this. I stopped using the mascara and the primer also just to make sure that it was this, and it was 100% this. So I can't recommend it because obviously something in it gave me a terrible allergic reaction. It's so incredibly painful, which is why I had to skip Makeup Bag Monday last week, because I didn't give everything a fair enough chance because this ruined it for me. But yes, to the Grande primer and the Grande mascara, these were amazing actually. The primer really does prep and work for the lashes before mascara application. It not only gave me lots of length, but it just really kept the curl to my lashes. So I would curl my lashes, prime, and then go over the mascara. And I really did find that my lashes stayed curled for longer and everything went on a lot more smoothly, and it gave me way more length than with the mascara alone. The mascara alone is a great mascara. It's not my favorite of all time, but it is very good, and it didn't irritate my eyes, so that was good. And I really liked it. I thought they were both pretty easy to take off at the end of the day. I just used an oil cleanser and just kind of rubbed it, you know, lightly and then rinsed, and it worked really well. Have nothing negative to say about either of those, except for I don't like that this is white, because it did leave spots that were very white, and sometimes the mascara, like going over it with the mascara, like didn't quite cover it all, so I had to like really go over there. But that's the only negative thing. You know, they didn't blow me away, but I thought they were really good. And if you're looking for a lash primer and a good mascara, these are very good. I actually have a mascara that blew my socks off that I'm gonna talk about in a future video. It's the best mascara I've ever used in my life, so stay tuned for that. So that was 2 weeks ago, Makeup Bag Monday. Let's talk about what we are going to include in Makeup Bag Monday for next week. I'm going to be doing the Bare Minerals Pro Foundation. Looks like that. This was my favorite foundation when it first launched, but then the Laura Mercier completely replaced it, and now I don't know how I feel about it. So we're gonna give it another shot, throw it into rotation. Do I still love it? Do I not still love it? Let's see. I'm also going to be using the Cover FX Custom Enhancing Drops in Sunkissed, which this also used to be one of my favorites, and I'm pretty sure I still love it, but I haven't really been using liquid bronzers lately, and I just was kind of in the mood to try that, so we're gonna try that. And then the next 2 items, which I'm very excited about, are my first Pixie Beauty makeup products that I've ever tried. I'm going to try the Pixie and Chloe Morello palette. This is called the Palette Chloette. See, she is beautiful. I am wearing her today. I've been wearing her for the last 2 days. I already have some preliminary thoughts. We'll wait to give them to you for next week. But so far, I really love the blushes. Those are the standout product in here. But I really liked this because I thought it was kind of an all-in-one palette, and I haven't seen a lot of reviews on it on YouTube, so I thought that might be a good thing to review. And also the Pixie and Chloe Morello lip icing in Cake. And let me show you. Like, isn't that so pretty? Let's put some on right now. I think that's really pretty. What do you guys think? And I love the way it smells. It's like a lemon cake. I really like it. All right, we got through it. Not too long. Sorry my hair's a mess. Sorry everything's been messed up the last few weeks. Hopefully I can be back with you guys if nothing else happens. You know, it's kind of challenging when your child doesn't have any days off and you're just trying to do everything at once, and then your phone breaks down and you lose everything, and it's just been crazy. I had to get a new phone, and as you guys know, I film on my phone. So that's it for this video. Give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in my next video. Bye guys.